I have shared on my page my call to certain plant medicines. I want to talk to you guys about Kambo, and for two reasons. One is that I don't have the typical experience that people have, and two, that this medicine has allowed me to heal ailments in my body that were going on over a decade. And so it's a very powerful medicine. So I'm just going to read you about kind of the ceremony that's happening tomorrow that I'm taking part in. It says, what is it? Kambo is known as the vaccine of the jungle. This medicine is derived from the secretion of an Amazonian tree frog, Medusa bicolor. It is a non-psychoactive sacred earth medicine. And I'm going to come back to that part. It contains peptides that support hormones, vital cellular processes, depression, migraines, blood circulation, fertility, AIDS, hepatitis, cancer, brain disease such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. It releases trauma, moves emotions, reduces anxiety, inflammation, and chronic pain, destroys various microbes and viruses, liver and gut detox. So I will be doing Sangha. It improves awareness, enhances vision and focus. It is a powerful medicine Amazonian tribe used to sharpen their night vision. And then I'll be doing Hapé. Hapé is a cleansing tobacco snuff used by the Amazonian shamans during medicine rituals. It is used to drop down from your mind and into your body. I use Hapé on a pretty consistent basis. This is a ceremonial practice that I've been using in my life, which really does allow me to come into my body using the tobacco. I can feel more of this grounded energy in my body, and so it helps with that. So then we'll do Kambo and a sound healing to release the energetic blockages. And then we have Reiki. So there's going to be a Reiki practitioner there using healing hands technique. And then we have a cold plunge, which is reducing inflammation, boosts recovery, reduces stress, and increases dopamine and endorphins. And this says what to expect. So during a Kambo ceremony, small burns will be made with an incense stick. Let me see if making sure my pants are pulled up. Okay, so you cannot really see them, but I have 3 here, and then there's 6 here. You can see them on the top of, or no, there's 4 here. You can't really tell, but you can see them on the top of my shoulder. This will be my third time. So small burns will be made with an incense stick, so that it's at the very top. Surface layers can be removed without bleeding to give Kambo access to the lymphatic system. So you have hot flashes, dizziness, vomiting, heart rate, increased tingling, swelling. And that's really the process is an energetic clearing. I really love the way that the people who are also on this shamanic path in the Western culture and also in my community, these are people who I trust. The practitioner is the same person that I've been going to, same person that my friends go to. They've been holding these healing ceremonies for a while now, and I love the way that even when they're explaining it, they're like, it reduces depression and increases circulation from the heart, and then like helps move trauma, processes emotions. So there's a way to speak about it from, I think, the shamanistic perspective that includes the emotional body and does not see that as separate. And then there's a way to speak from the disease model or health model. I'm not sure what word really fits here, but the just kind of on a biology level, the scientific. And so and then the fact that this is from a tree frog, that is a very shamanic medicine. That is something, it's an earth plane medicine that has reverence for the unity consciousness that exists on the planet, using a medicine that comes from a frog in the human body. And actually, beforehand, I actually call in the frog and thank the frog for its healing properties in my life before I go into the ceremony. And the last time that I did this, I was staying the night at a friend's house. I did a whole week at their house. And when I was leaving, it was so funny because they were like, there is a frog just sitting in front of the door and it won't. I was like, I had just finished calling in the frog spirit and having a conversation with the frog. And, we were just out in the woods and I hadn't seen any frogs the entire week that I was there previous. But as soon as they were like, I just opened the door and I looked down and there's this big frog, and I was like, yes, that would be me. And then and also my frog friend who is there to support my healing path. And this is the thing about shamanic medicine for me, is that I have had this connection for some time, especially when it comes to animals. Animal spirits really directly speak to me, and they give me a lot of code. I have really found in my own journey with Kambo, where I called the Kambo in and thank the Kambo for healing me for lack of being in my fullest expression of my worth. So I wanted to come into a place of self love and understanding with myself. And when I went into the ceremony, I still had, when I got married at 19, right before my 20th birthday, I very quickly got Bell's palsy. And so half of my face was paralyzed on this side right here, and right here had actually stayed after my face healed. So it took about 3 months. I didn't know how long it would be, but it took about 3 months and it healed, but I couldn't feel this area or move this area. And the same with this part of my mouth. And, I got married because I thought that no one would ever understand me or love me. And I thought that my ex really, really was there for me in some times where I really needed someone. And so I thought that that was really love. And I knew as soon as I got married that it wasn't right. And I actually got sick and was in the hospital immediately. It took about 2 weeks. And then I had all these unknown illnesses. And yeah, nobody could diagnose me. And I would leave the hospital and I would come right back to the hospital. And my body was really telling me that, this wasn't right. Nobody knew what was wrong with me or how to help. And it got to the point where on my 21st birthday, I was celebrating and I went to take a shot of this whiskey with my best friend. 2 days prior, I actually couldn't taste anything and I started to have really severe headaches. And I had shared with people in my family, like, do you know what this is? Have you ever experienced anything like this? And they all said no. So I was like, okay. I took the shot with my friend. I wasn't able to smile. And then as soon as I realized what had happened, I started crying and no tears came from that side of my face. So fast forward 3 months, it got better and I still had some lasting effects. And this is the masculine side of the body. So what I saw that as is my lack of being able to directly mirror masculine energy. I had some damage to that side of my body. I would notice that I was not able to fully come into a place of even union with my own masculine feminine sides because of some of these aspects and where they were held in my space. And so this was held in my face particularly. And this is a holding pattern. And I didn't know this. I when I went into it, I had full confidence that I could heal this and that it was something that was an emotional attachment to a story, a past story or something. But when I asked the combo to heal me, I did not really think about this part of my body. I was thinking more about my left bottom foot and some other things that I have in my body, my lower back. I wasn't thinking about my face. However, when you take the frog medicine, you get a really, really, really big puffy frog face. If you look up photos, they're actually hilarious. But my frog face lasted much longer than it had in the past, or that does typically for other people. And so I believe that this peptide, that the frog spirit was in my face for a longer period of time because I needed that energetic clearing and healing. And the first time that I ever took the medicine, my hands, I remember specifically my hands were burning so bad and I was just smashing them on the ground because they hurt so bad previous to purging. And that really, I was diagnosed with carpal tunnel maybe late 20s and no, early 20s. And it's definitely a genetic thing in my family as well as something that was brought out by my environment. I had this kind of body mapping that I did recently where we have a map of the body and you color based on where you feel different emotions. And it really does show where you're holding those emotions in your body and how that really directly relates to the suffering that you have or disease that you have. And for me, with my hands, when I was in the military, people would pay for the day off and they would make me work their shifts. And so there was times where I, for like 2 months, didn't get more than 2 hours of sleep and was constantly worked. It really led to repetitive movement of my hand, but also the anger that I was holding in that part of my body. I didn't see that for a really long time. And I've also used my hands, to like hit things, or when I think about anger, I did become a boxer during that time, and I still do mixed martial arts. It's all without contact, but I was doing contact boxing. And so this part of my body took a lot of pressure, took a lot of hits, and it was an energetic thing now that I understand the way that energy works in the body. And so my first experience, Kambo, really helped me with my hands. That was the first thing. And they say that Kambo is a non-psychoactive substance. And though that is true, I do want to say if you have gifts, I can say confidently I'm a seer, and I have visions when other people are not having visions. They close their eyes, it's black. I close my eyes, and people are like, oh, well, that's maybe a really in-depth imagination, but I see it as an extremely powerful tool. And, there's a lot of times where I'm receiving information that has directly impacted my path and has created this way for my higher self to speak to me. So when I was in the first combo ceremony, I had clear images of me to my mom, to my grandma, to the collective, and stories that afterwards I understood why my face was what was healed. I saw the unhappiness that was in the feminine was holding, and I saw that the not coming into themselves and speaking their truth and being this larger imprint and holding this love frequency. I saw a lot of abandonment. I saw a lot of people pleasing, going all the way back to my my great great grandma. And then the collective experience, I was just witnessing even like my soul sisters and people who I've seen just in my life, and then people in history. So it was really a impactful journey for me, because I do have the gift of, when a story is actually being transmuted through my body, I do see a shift in my mind's eye. So I actually experience that, and that's really powerful, because some people, like, I can't see it. Whereas I'm somebody who, I feel tapped into that energy. I feel in tune with that energy, and I'm getting it a lot of times before it happens, in order to step into it and for my higher self to really show me that. I feel that these medicines, there has been some talk about whether or not the medicines should be taken out of the Amazon, or shared in other aspects, in other ways, in different cultures, or whether that's cultural appropriation. And what I strongly feel is that if there is a reverence around the medicine, then the medicine people will find it and find a way to share it because of its power. And it's when it comes to the complexities of how certain medicines are harvested and the ritual that goes around that, I think that in the communities that are using these plant medicines, there is a reverence for them, and there is space for the healers to step forward and say that this is something that has been powerful and impactful on their journey. Because in my experience, I've used psilocybin and I've used magic mushrooms, and there's a difference for me. And there's a difference in the way that, and for me, it's all about intention. It's all about why. And that's something that I talk about a lot, is what is your intention? What is your why? And if you have a very clear why when you are going into ceremony with any of, honestly, with your life, if you just have a very clear intention, you will be shown the power of what it is that you're doing. If you kind of do things with, half intention, or not really intending at all, you won't see the depth of the experience. You will get a depth of experience, and really this kind of present moment ability to connect with your spirit, connect your mind, body, and spirit. And that's something that I really value, is that holistic perspective of the mind, body, and spirit, because I don't feel at this point in my life that I could take out my spiritual perspective. Spiritual just means to breathe. That's what the root word of spiritual is. So for me, it's all about being present, and how present you are to love. Ultimately, I really believe that the highest frequency and vibration is love, and that the way that we come into higher conversations with everything, in higher conversations with spirit, with other people, with nature, with plants, with animals, is to be in that higher frequency awareness that comes from a state of love. So I wanted to give an update about how I am bridging my shamanic healer self with my research science based perspective to better serve the collective, ultimately being my truest, authentic version of myself and sharing that while it's happening. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.